as a lot of you know, or as maybe some of you don't, I was a business student at La Roche College, and I studied business for quite a long time, and eventually I was running my own business on the side, and I was doing stand-up comedy, and I was asked to do a lot of shows, and I was trying to run my own business, so ultimately I dropped out of college, not only to run my own business, but to go on tour with comedy. So, that being said, I do have quite a lot of business background, and I wanted to talk to you guys about Minecraft servers from the perspective of somebody who knows what they're talking about as far as business is concerned, and how you guys can make an intriguing Minecraft server without necessarily having to pour a whole lot of money into it. So basically, everything from concept development to execution to making a business plan, everything like that, which I think is really, really important for any project that you want to do, pretty much no matter what it is. All of that being said, whenever you look to create a business, or in this case, our Minecraft server, you should always create a business with the intentions of solving a problem, right? So the first thing you need to do is to find a problem, and the next thing you need to do is to come up with a way that you are going to solve that problem, and to make people kind of care about that, really. Because if people don't care about the problem that you're trying to solve, then you might as well not be solving the problem. Just give me just a minute here. My OCD is going crazy. All right, let's put that there, and then let's lower that down too. Okay. So, the problem that I'm seeing with a lot of Minecraft servers is that they are all the same. So, they are all the same. Okay? Basically, every Minecraft server has, like, the same looking map, it's got the same plugins, it's got the same kind of boring mentality. But that being said, some people like that setup. In fact, a lot of people do. It's obvious by looking at these servers, like the Archon, like Treasure Wars, like Cosmic, that a lot of people like the way that things are being set up. But the reason that these servers have such a big turnover rate is because it's easy enough to just leave one server and go to another one and have virtually the same player experience. So we can see that all servers have minute changes, right? So Cosmic PvP has its Cosmic Envoy thing, Treasure Wars has its Clue Scrolls, the Archon has their weird custom enchants and kind of like really basic type of stuff. No, the Archon has Archon crates, what am I talking about? So they all have something that makes the user experience really unique. So, knowing that people pretty much want to get a unique experience every time they go on our new faction server, and knowing that I want a core concept to find a problem and solve it, I'm looking at my personal kind of Minecraft experience so far. And that has been that as an economy player, economies are flat. So economies, I'm not spelling right, that's fine, are flat. So basically what these Minecraft servers do is they're trying to follow the basic RPG format in any video game. The basic RPG format is adventure, or no, I'm sorry, it's explore, reward, upgrade, repeat. Okay, you'll find this in any role-playing type of game. And basically what this does is it allows the player to explore, which basically means you're going to perform a menial task with the chance of receiving a reward which will make that menial task less important, right? So, with that kind of setup, we know that this is what people want. This is something that we need to have in our server. So we need to have an explore. We need to have a reward. So the reward is, wow, kind of choked up there. The reward, come on, is an item or ability which will allow the player to, want to give the world's biggest shout out really quickly here to Sweet Drinker for following the live stream. Thanks a lot, Sweet Drinker. Welcome to my 11-year-old army. Feel free to put in any questions that you guys have, by the way. Okay, so reward is an item and or ability which allows the player to have a better user experience. Okay, so either making the game simpler or giving them an edge over their competition, whatever. Okay, the upgrade part is going to be using that reward to enhance the abilities that the player already has to make tasks easier. All right? So, and the repeat part is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so we need to find a way to make these 4 steps unique to our server. So we've got to find something that players want. They obviously want to follow this format because they're already Minecraft players, and we've got to find a way to create a unique experience using this format. So, typically, in Minecraft Factions, the explore phase of this has always been more or less make a cactus farm, go mining, get a little bit of money, get your first spawner, get your first base going, right? So it's kind of that idea of, so the explorer traditionally has been make a bit of money, get a base, right? And also maybe find a faction, right? So how can we kind of tweak that to make it unique to our server? We can tackle one of these 3 things or all of them. We can tackle the make a bit of money part, try to make that unique. We can tackle the get the base part or maybe find a faction part. Try to find ways to make this unique to us. As far as getting a base is concerned, I feel like people are too used to building the bases that they already have, and that there's so much like there's so much kind of science and really base mechanics behind Minecraft that this would be really, really difficult to change. At least I can't think of any good ways. Then maybe find a faction part. That's kind of part of the core factions plugin, and people are used to that anyway. And to me, this is one of the greatest parts of the game, is finding the right people to play with and everything like that. So personally, I never want to change that. That's one of the things I love about the game. But the making a bit of money part sucks. So that's what I want to change. I want to change make a bit of money, right? And how am I going to do that? Well, traditionally, we've had cactus farm, well, let's just say any farms, right? Farms, mining, grinders, how else could you make money? Market manipulation, so like buying low and selling high. I'm not sure that there is a lot. I guess PvPing also can help players make money, all right? So, what do we want to do? Do we want to add to this? Do we want to take this away? Do we want to make this better? My idea for this, for the kind of making a bit of money part, is to tackle the grinding situation, right? It's a bit boring and it encourages hackers. So traditionally, people have used kill aura to grind, and hacking is a no-no. So I wanted to find a way to discourage hackers on my servers, so here's my idea. Alright, so my grinders are going to be spawners, which reward the player just for being near them. Okay, so these spawners don't actually spawn mobs. If you're standing within 20 blocks of a spawner, every 5 seconds you're going to be rewarded with experience and with cash, just as if you've killed that mob before. So with this, I've tackled one of the situations, one of the problems that Minecraft servers are facing, and that is hackers. People are no longer going to be encouraged to kill aura in their base because you don't need to. And if you don't need to use kill aura, then chances are you probably aren't, because if you're trying to kill aura no mobs, you're going to seem a little bit weird, right? So spawners which reward the player for just being near them. This adds like a bunch of different concepts into the game just when we think about it. It completely changes grinding rooms, completely changes grinding rooms. We can imagine that it's going to be a better idea to kind of be surrounded by a bunch of spawners in every direction, and we don't need to have that sort of funnel system which pushes all the mobs into one block so that they're easier to attack. We could literally just have an AFK pool surrounded by spawners, surrounded by obsidian with walls on every side, and it completely reinvents the kind of grinding can I get a read the fishes babe spam in chat? It completely reinvents the grinding game and allows players to kind of have that really, really unique experience. And I think that that's super awesome. So, spawners which reward the players for just being near them. That's tackled one aspect of the game, but the more we look at factions, we kind of have 3 parts really, don't we? We have 3 parts. We have the economy part, because there's money. We have PvPing, and we also have raiding. So if I'm going to give the economy players such an edge over everybody else, well then I kind of want to give the other players something to get excited about, you know? So I've already handled the economy players. Let's see if we can find something unique for the PvPers. Traditionally, on every single faction server that I've done a series on, custom enchants have been a really, really big thing, right? So custom enchants on Treasure Wars. There were so many of them, and they were a lot like Cosmic. And custom enchants on the Archon, there were really, really few of them, but that made the ones that were good more sought after. And custom enchants on Cosmic PvP, I feel anyway, have really defined that server for what it is. So we've already talked about this. Some people like this setup, so let's kind of give them what they want. Let's give them some custom enchants, but let's see if we can make them a little bit unique to our server. One of the things that I've always loved are the utility-based enchants, right? So not necessarily like Deathbringer, where you have a chance to deal 2 times as much damage, or like Gears 3 that just make you move quicker. More like Ragdoll was a really cool and weird addition into the game. Rocket Escape was such a great enchant from Cosmic. There's also things like Implants, which I found awesome, or Blessed on Treasure Wars. Like, all of those enchants were really good. So let's add in enchants that change the way the game works. Let's assume, for reality's sake, that the enchants that are already in the game are good enough to PvP with, right? You have Sharpness, you've got Unbreaking, you've got Protection. Between those things, we can pretty much assume that players are going to be able to PvP their little hearts out, and it's going to be fine. But let's also make those base enchants go a little bit further. So let's increase Sharpness to 25. And let's increase Protection to 1,000, right? So increase Protection to 1,000. Now, these are things that I've already playtested a little bit, and PvP is a lot of fun with them, but only if you still have things like golden apples and potions and stuff. So let's see if we can make some custom potions. Let's look into that. Let's look into, you know, something like Ragdoll, something like Rocket Escape. Let's create a new aspect to the game where these custom enchants, you know, maybe you hit somebody and it immediately teleports them back to their base, or at least it has a chance to. Maybe you hit somebody and for 5 seconds it turns them into a chicken, or makes their player model look like a chicken. Maybe you hit somebody and it teleports them to a different world where they have to fight a boss to get out of. You know, those are all really cool sorts of things that kind of change the way the game works enough to make it for a completely unique experience every time you head into PvP, but at the same time keeps true to that PvP concept. And in fact, just when I was brainstorming that, I like the transport to different world when hit, fight boss, and leave. I think that that could be really, really cool, because if you can't fight the boss, then you can't get out, and that's really awesome. Let's see here. Killstreak changed the server so much, though. I agree. I don't like the idea of it at all. Really. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it made god sets easy to obtain. Yeah, so that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So, like, what I noticed playing on all these servers is if you had a god set and somebody else had a god set, one of you's gonna get away. Like, unless you really want to fight to the death, unless you're getting like 2v1 or 3v1 or anything like that, you're gonna be able to get away from the person, right? And I don't want that to happen. I want a high risk, high reward sort of thing. So high risk, high reward. Okay, how can we handle the high risk part? Maybe, okay, so, you know, maybe disable ender pearls. That might make it to the point where, you know, people, or in combat at least, right? Let's disable ender pearls in combat. That way you can't easily get away from somebody in a god set, and perhaps, you know, wearing certain, god enchants makes you slower. So that people are kind of forced to fight, makes you slower. So that way we can kind of add in that high-risk aspect of if you get in combat, you've either got to fight your way out of it or you're losing your god set. That way people are sure that whenever they get into a fight, one person's walking out of it. You know, we don't have that sort of thing. Or maybe, right, maybe when you enter combat, you can only move 10 blocks away from the space that you entered. So maybe entering combat restricts movement within 30 blocks, let's say. So whenever you enter combat with another player, you're both defined to a 30 block radius, and neither one of you is allowed to move out of that 30 block radius until you're out of combat. That tackles the high risk. What's another idea that we could make it more high risk? Let's see here. Maybe more opportunities to one shot. You know, so maybe there are certain enchants on a weapon or whatever that just instantly kill your opponent. Or also have those enchants on armor. So, yeah, you might hit me and kill me instantly, but you might hit me and get killed instantly. All of those things add to high risk. As far as high reward goes, this is something that I've thought about a lot. Be able to sell god sets. For the love of God, why can't you sell god sets back to the server? I've never understood that. And obviously, custom enchants, insanely expensive and rare. That way, you're kind of confined to fight with protection 1000 and sharpness 25. But if you end up with one of those custom enchants, it makes a world of difference. So that would be pretty cool. All right. So that's pretty neat. All right. So we've kind of hit on the economy players. We've given them something cool to talk about. We've hit on the PvP players. Let's talk about the raiding players. All right. So raiding. What is raiding really lacking? I'd say that the ability to pick up spawners ruins raiding. At least when you can do it safely. Right? Because, on Treasure Wars, for instance, if you were getting raided, you just touch up your spawners, and you let them raid your base, and you build another base. Yeah, it's an inconvenient, but the raider didn't get anything out of it, and they had to waste a lot of money and a lot of TNT to do it. So maybe Silk Touch works on a 50% effectiveness. That might be cool. Or how about if enemy players can mine your spawners? That might be cool. Let's see here. Make it so you cannot buy gold in the shop, so you can make gold apples, so force you to mine. That might be cool, Joe Tuttle. Good idea, man. Good idea. Let's see here. What else could make raiding more interesting? Okay, so here was something that I had thought about a while back. Custom TNT and obsidian. So, if you craft a block of TNT, receive TNT-A. Alright, TNT-A is twice as effective against normal obby. Block of TNT-A makes TNT-B, which is 4 times effective against normal obby. Craft obby into a block, receive obby-A. Obby-A is twice as strong as obby. You see what I'm saying? So, and we'll do this all the way to TNT-A and TNT-Z. All the way to TNT-Z and obby-Z as well. So they ultimately you could end up with 276 times as effective against normal obsidian. So you might be able to just break through obsidian right away. And also, let's make it so lava can be blown up by TNT. That's a feature of Obby Destroyer that I quite like, because no more regens. At least no more non-air burstable regens. You still have to know how to get through them, but that would be pretty cool. Okay. Let's see here. It's because if people sell a spawner on AA, they will be able to make they will be able to buy loads of god apples. So make it so you can't buy gold in shop. Okay. So we have the idea of can't buy gold / gapples in shop. Or maybe to go along with that idea, what if we customize gapples, right? So what if we make gapples have special effects? So maybe if you craft, a gapple chest with redstone in the middle, it lasts longer. The effects last longer. Or, gapple chest with glowstone in the middle makes splash gapples. You know what I mean? Maybe we add in some more custom stuff to gapples to make them a bit harder to get. That might be cool. let's see here. Hello, you're going to make this plugin? I'm going to make what I can, but I'm also trying to find people that are good at bucket coding. And, you know, of course, I'm willing to pay to have these made, but I'm trying to get a good idea now of what our kind of business plan is for the server. Okay, so now that we know all of this, let's kind of create a mission for our server, right? So in every business, you want to have what's called a mission statement, something that your business exists to do beyond making money. So, for example, if I own a pizza place, my mission statement might be, you know, Mike's Pizza exists to serve the best gosh darn pizza to the entire Pittsburgh area, right? So I kind of create quality as my mission statement. Yeah, that's going to be my mission, and everybody that works in my business is going to follow my mission. So let's create a mission statement for Goon PvP. So Goon PvP's mission is to provide a truly unique factions experience, regardless of experience on the server, right? So I think that this is a good mission. What I want to do is, regardless of how much you've played this server, you never know what you're going to get. To be able to create custom enchants, custom spawners, custom rating stuff that make each experience every time you log in Goon PvP, I want it to feel like the first time you logged into Goon PvP. Every time you get in combat, you aren't sure what you're going to get. Maybe there's like a randomized when you enter combat system that forces you to fight a certain way. So like, that might be a cool idea. So like, you enter PvP, right? And there's a chance that you're only going to be able to use bows. Or there's a chance that immediately both players' armors are taken off, and you can't put them back on until you're out of combat. Or maybe there's a chance that both of you are given a stick, and you have to fight with just that stick. You know, something like that. That could be really, really, really cool. I think that that's probably a good thing. Or maybe when you're raiding, there's a chance that, you know, one of your pieces of TNT that you just fired from your cannon, that it is going to go straight through the walls and just ignore all the water. You know what I mean? So there could be a chance of that. Or maybe if you're grinding, there's a chance that you're just gonna get a crate key all of a sudden, you know, because you're standing near the spawner. Stuff like that to make it so that no matter what you're doing, you're gonna have a really cool, really unique experience. Okay. For those of you watching on YouTube, I know that that was a lot of rambling, and I know that there was virtually nothing in there about like how to make a faction server, but this is so extremely important. In my real life, I own an antique store, I own an online business, I've been in a lot of different businesses, and I can't tell you how many people I've watched get into business and fail because they didn't take the time to do this. Now that I know what I want Goon PvP to be about, I can go through and every single plugin that I see, I can say, how can I make this into a unique experience for my players? You know, how can I make this truly unique so that whenever somebody logs on, they're going to get something different every time? Or how can I make the website look unique and follow that code? Or how can I make anything about this game better for my user experience and make it so that it's unique? And so unique is going to be the core of what we stand for. For those of you watching on YouTube, my name's Timothy. Thank you all so much. Please be sure to check out our video sponsors. Chess.com, with over 13 million registered users, is the best gosh darn website out there to play, learn, and dominate the game of chess. And also Moxie.com, MMOXIE.com, is a geek and gamer haven dedicated to accessories and apparels, launching in April, and they're going to be making a lot of GoonSquad stuff so that you all can decorate yourselves in my garments. My name's Timothy. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next time. See you guys.